Saka, a good player. He is a good player, right? But he is not world class.
Is Romero world class?
Yes.
And you say Saka's not, but you think Romero is?
Yes.
We can. Stop the show. Stop the show.
Alright, I don't even know how to start this video, but I was watching Footy Judge Mo, shout out to Footy Judge Mo. He had Will on his stream, who's a Tottenham fan, also had Northside, who is an Arsenal fan, many have probably seen him, and also Joe, who's a Newcastle fan, I believe. And then they got into this conversation about Christian Romero being world class according to Will, which I do not think is world class. You need to be doing this year in, year out, consistently, winning major trophies to be considered world class. A World Cup is a great achievement, do not get me wrong, but to say he's got a World Cup, all of a sudden that means he's the best in the world. I mean, if you want to go by the definition world winner, okay, best in the world, but we don't look at World Cups as best in the world because we can see so many players that have won World Cups in World Cup winning teams that are absolute dog shit. We can see Premier League winners who have won Premier League medals that have been dog shit. So I don't buy that to be a metric. And you'll hear later on as well, Messi, just because Lionel Messi says, yeah, best centre-back in the world does not make it so. I mean, we're not going to go use the, argument from authority or whatever that debate tactic is. I don't care. Messi can say Darwin Núñez scored a goal against us and got an assist in the World Cup or the Copa qualifiers. If Messi said tomorrow Darwin Núñez is world-class best striker in the world, do you think people would believe Lionel Messi? I do not think so. But anyways, I digress. Let me show you a clip from, it's a bit of a lengthy one, but this is what happened, overnight, this morning, however you want to go about it, depending on where you are time-wise, on this conversation of Christian Romero being world-class, and let's hear what Will has to say alongside Joe, who was basically his nemesis in this exchange on Footy Judge Mo's channel.
But I think it's mad to even think that Romero would get anywhere close to what Ramos has done.
Okay, so you think Lionel Messi doesn't know football?
Oh, so because Lionel Messi said he's good. So you're going now from stats and you're going to Lionel Messi's opinion.
Because my opinion doesn't mean anything to you, apparently, right? Like this
No,
numbers don't mean anything to you, apparently.
Okay, go on then. Go on.
Right?
So Messi's
one of the greatest players to ever play football, played against some of the best defenders in the world of all time, right?
Yeah.
Is saying that this guy is the best defender in the world, right? And he's not just saying that about any other Argentinian. He's not saying that about Martinez, right? So
he is wrong.
What do you think that Messi's seeing?
And Messi doesn't know.
Romero.
See, Will, you asked a question, right? I'm telling you. Messi, he's a football player. Doesn't mean he knows football. That's what people misunderstand. And I met a lot of professional football players. Hold on. I was friends with a lot of professional football players that played for Egypt national team and played for the biggest clubs. Not every professional football, but let me just tell you that Messi knows football on the ground and knows everything. Messi doesn't watch every defender in the world, right? And Messi is back in his countrymen. Well, so please.
Sure. Hold on.
Hold on. Well, let me finish. So please, using that argument, you can use the statistics argument. You can use the eye test argument. Please don't use that Messi said that he's the best defender in the world to back your argument.
Listen,
doesn't make any sense.
You have to. If he's going to deny the numbers, right? Okay. Say that they don't matter, right? Because football's not played on paper,
they do matter,
on the pitch.
Well,
no, you just said they didn't, right? Football's not played by numbers.
Right. So can I qualify it though?
Well, I want to talk as well.
Let me finish my sentence.
Yeah, sorry.
We move on. Thanks. I appreciate that. So my point is if my opinion doesn't matter, and if he doesn't see it himself, I don't know how much he watches Tottenham or watches Christian Romero. I watch him week in and week out, right, with my eyes, right, not with my calculator. And then then you have Lionel Messi, who's a great, one of the greatest football players that ever walked the face of the planet, right? Yeah. Also saying that. I'm not saying he is world-class because Messi says so. The numbers right now say that he is performing in the top 3 in his position in the world, right? That's the majority of the aspects of a defender. Messi is saying it, but I'm wrong because someone else thinks that that's insane.
Statistics are important. We use statistics for many things. We use them to back up claims. We use them to show evidence, data, increases, decreases, performances, all those sorts of things. That saying, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. But you can make the numbers look a certain way, whichever way you want to make them look. Because people say, well, Van Dijk has not been dribbled past this season. Okay, that means what in the grand scheme of things? Oh, what a defender. Okay, Maybe the players he's come against just have not attempted to dribble past him and haven't been able to dribble past him because they didn't want to. Maybe he was able to get in a position where they were unable to dribble past him. He didn't have to make a tackle. I can use that as a metric and say this is why Van Dijk is a better defender, because he doesn't have to actually stick a foot in and risk a tackle or a challenge. Whereas Romero has had almost double, triple even, maybe even quadruple the amount of tackle attempts that Van Dijk has had over the last few seasons. And they're about on par with the success rate. I think Van Dijk had about 53% success rate and Romero had about 58%, something like that. But to show you the stats, let's just have a look real quick. So this is from the 21-22 season up until current season. So at the moment, Van Dijk is on 84 appearances over the last few seasons. Romero's on 64, so 20 games missed. Is that because of injury, suspension? Combination of both, right? Conceded the same amount of goals, about the same amount of blocks, interceptions, give or take the same. Romero has had more interceptions to make. Now here it is with the tackles. Van Dijk has had 69 tackles attempted, 37 successful, whereas Romero has had 162 tackles, 97 successful, 4 last man tackles, 2 last man tackles. Clearances, many more by Van Dijk than Romero. Headed clearances, more by Van Dijk than Romero. Many more aerial battles won by Van Dijk than Romero. No own goals for Van Dijk, 1 for Romero. 2 errors leading to goal from Van Dijk, same as Romero, but only 1 penalty conceded by Van Dijk and 4 for Romero. So I'm going to show you why he's rash and why he's probably not the all-end-all be-all defender that many people say is. Same like Will. This is not a dig at Will. He says he wants to use stats and facts. Cool. Here's a stat and a fact. Based on the stats and the facts that I'm looking at, my opinion is that Romero is not as... how do I say this? He's not shit, okay? But he's not as good as a Van Dijk. He's not on a Van Dijk level in that aspect. Because if you want to be on a Van Dijk level, Van Dijk, look at what he's doing overall. Not just with tackles, not just with interceptions, not just with blocks. There's much more to defending. So like, Paolo Maldini said it once. I don't know if it's a true thing or not. But if I have to make a tackle, I've already made a mistake, right? Van Dijk maybe is that good of a defender that he doesn't have to make a tackle. Maybe Romero has to make tackles in there. Now let me show you something else because of this whole stat hunt. I found this little thing here as well. Where is it here? So in the Serie A, Romero had 88 appearances, 5 goals, 6 assists, 35 yellows, 2 double yellows, so 2 sendings off from a double yellow and 1 straight red. Premier League, 1 double yellow, 1 straight red. 21 yellows so far. So his discipline is not the best. Let's have a look at the discipline here. In the same amount of time, okay? The same amount of time in games. Yellow cards for Van Dijk, 7, 20 for Romero. 1 red card for Van Dijk, that one coming against Newcastle, which again, arguably probably not a red. I think yellow definitely. Red card, again, it is what it is. We ended up winning 2-1 thanks to Darwin Núñez, so eat it Newcastle. 2 reds for Romero as we saw. 34 fouls committed by Van Dijk, 82 by Romero, 1 penalty conceded, 4 penalties conceded for Romero, 3 offsides for Van Dijk, 2 offsides for Romero. The attacking stuff is whatever. So I can use that metric, that stat, and say Romero is a reckless defender. He's not a good defender because look how many yellow cards he gets. And people say, well, you have to get yellow cards if you're a defender. I can disagree and say, look, the best way to defend is to not put a tackle in there. Stop your opponent from getting past you. Stop your opponent from getting the ball. Be the brick in front of them. If you have to tackle, make sure you're going to get the ball clean because if you don't, you're copping yellow cards aplenty. This is why a lot of people say that Romero is reckless. He is dangerous on the pitch. Now, dangerous may be a strong term, but one thing I believe he definitely is a bozo, but don't you let any Tottenham fans hear you say bozo.
Let's get some reasoning. I'm not even like arguing that. There is not even a question that the bozo can get in the team. Not even a question.
Thank you.
Saliba and Van Dijk.
Yeah, he's a bozo, multimillionaire, World Cup winner, but he's a bozo. Go ahead, Mo. Keep that narrative. You're talking about a successful man, a successful husband, a successful father, but he's a bozo. Okay.
Oh my God, what is this? What is this? What is his money?
Just saying, you taking a personal shot at a guy as his personal, you're calling him a bozo. That's a mentality
why are you
thing.
defending him?
Because I don't think he's a bozo. I think to call
I
a
think he's
professional athlete of his
absolutely a
caliber a
bozo.
bozo is absolutely inaccurate and non-representative
I
of anything.
absolutely think that Romero on the pitch is a bozo. I don't know him personally.
That's why you're on YouTube and he's in Argentina.
What does that mean? What does that
That
mean?
he's not a bozo. Clearly, he did something right in life. And if you're doing something right in life, I wouldn't call him a bozo.
Now, if you made it this far, this is not a dig at Will, this is not a dig at Jacob or Mo or Joe Schmo or anyone like that. This is just me talking, giving you my thoughts and opinions on this matter. Van Dijk arguably is a much better defender than Romero because he has to make less tackles. He doesn't have to throw himself in there for blocks. He doesn't get yellow carded often because he doesn't commit fouls to the point where they're worthy of yellow cards. Red cards here and there, okay? Doesn't go in crunching into tackles. When I think of Van Dijk in the box, I don't think of him lunging in and looking to chop a player down just to get the ball, for example. I'm not saying Romero does that before you Spurs fans jump on me, but we've seen what happens with Enzo Fernandez when they played their game, when they ultimately lost because of that stupid high line from good old Ange Postecoglou, good old Aussie Ange. But we've seen he can be reckless. Van Dijk doesn't do that reckless shit because he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to do... I don't even think there's a defender in our squad that does reckless tackles like that. The last player I can probably think of was Skirtle. Skirtle would go in there and just like go for a player down. That's who I can liken Romero to in a comparison to a Liverpool player, Martin Skirtle, because he would just like chop you down and give no fucks whatsoever. Before that, probably Mascherano. He was quite the bulldog in the middle of the pitch there. But again, he is a bozo on the pitch. I've just showed you the stats, the amount of yellow cards this man has accumulated, the amount of red cards. I mean, the fouls he commits. Look at this again. 20 yellow cards in the space of what? 3 seasons? 2.5 seasons? 82 fouls committed. 4 penalties conceded. That's not... If you're a great defender, you're not conceding that many penalties, man. I mean, I don't know what else to say to some folks out there. I don't know. I just, again, you can make stats say whatever you want. I can use the fact that Van Dijk has put less tackles in there because he doesn't have to do the same amount of tackles because he's a much better defender at stopping his man. He's better to get to the ball. Again, you have to look into factors of who's playing in the squad. Are they dominating? Do they need to defend? Arguably, you can say Tottenham have to defend more than Liverpool, ergo why Romero has to put all these tackles in, which I understand. And as you're a defender, if you're being, come against, you need to put tackles in there. I get that. But to say he's doing world-class levels of defending, ergo he's world-class, he's been in the league for a few seasons. He ain't done it as long as Van Dijk has. You can't say he's world-class just because he's won a World Cup and Messi says he's the best defender in the world, ergo is world-class. You have to look at the players and I can say, okay, he gets his tackles in there. He's got his blocks in there, but he's tackling way too often. He has to recover and try and get back at the attacker way too often. He's putting too many tackles in. He's getting too many yellow cards. That's a liability, which is why people say Romero is not a great defender. Now, with that being said, I will show you another clip where Will got a little bit upset because Joe had a laugh, as you saw at the start of the video. That was taken just before I played the first clips of the Judge Mo stream, and he, for lack of a better word, got upset because Joe laughed at his opinion. And I said this as well. I did a little bit of short when Sava was on with Terry. I think it was on Football Terrace for Straight Facts. And Sava got riled up by the chat. Okay, my thing is, I'm going to say these 2 things. Number 1, if you're on a panel, my opinion, don't look at the chat. Let the person hosting, let the mods take care of the chat situation. Don't look at the chat. You're having a conversation with one person, with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people on stream. Focus your attention on them. Engage in that conversation. Leave the chat. We're observing you guys talking on a stage live, for example, okay? Don't worry about what we're mentioning, what we're talking about. Let the mods look after that shit. Let the person running the stream look after that. And secondly, just because someone says something you disagree with and they act up in a certain way doesn't mean you got to get mad upset over it. I saw a video, an older one from Igal, getting absolutely rattled because Brandon called the team pussies because they bottled the league last year, whatever the hell it was, bottled all that shit. And the guy just started like lashing out massively. I'm like, fuck, if I could remember what the link was, I'd find it for you, but I can't remember. Absolutely lost it. I'm like, okay, you're upset, you're heated. You don't have to lash out at someone having a conversation with you on stream. This is the internet. This is not real life. This is all opinion based. Okay? Right opinion, wrong opinion. Based on fact, based on what you see with your eyes, based on stats. This is just all opinion stuff. There's no need to get mad, heated over it.
Can we move on from you are wrong and I'm wrong?
Can I just
say something? All of this.
He mocked me, jumped up out of his chair, and walked out of the room.
Because it was a.
He's kidding.
No, I'm only joking. Like he's only joking. It's not real life, man.
No,
it's not real life.
It's when a guy makes a position, you banter it off, get up out of your chair, and walk out of the room. That's insulting. If I did that to you, right? You must stand up and walk out.
No. Laugh, bro. It's not that deep.
It was a laugh.
Sorry if I've hurt your feelings. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, you don't hurt my feelings. My feelings don't get hurt because facts don't care about feelings, right? So I'm not worried about my feelings.
Okay. What are you worried about then? Your facts?
Okay.
The facts
Can I
are the
say
facts.
something?
I don't have to worry about them at all. I don't make them up.
The numbers aren't everything in football. And there is a big thing that say that Xavi had, I think, less pass completion than another player or something, or less passes than someone else in 2012 when they won the treble. All right. So numbers don't everything, but numbers sometimes back what you say. And I always come with stats. I say the stats back my eye test. But at the end, these are opinions.
Correct. At the end of the day, these are all just opinions. We're all here discussing our thoughts and opinions on our football teams, on our players, our clubs, your club, what's happening, all that sort of shit. I don't know why people get so upset and so rattled when someone says something and it goes against what they believe. If someone's going to come at you and call you names and call you an idiot and stupid and dumb and everything else in between, I can understand you getting a little bit upset. There's no need for that sort of stuff. This is not real life, okay? Once the stream finishes and you hit shut down on your laptop or your PC, whatever, you go outside to the real life. We don't live online in that sense. I don't know why some people get mad, heated over it. But again, I'll finish by saying one more time, you can make a stat before your argument or against what the other person is saying, any which way you like, see fit. Because again, I can twist it. I can say Romero is a worse defender than Van Dijk because he has to make more tackles, albeit more successful tackles. Well, Van Dijk is a better defender than Romero because Romero has to make more tackles and Van Dijk doesn't. Van Dijk has less yellow cards, Romero has more yellow cards. Again, that could be down to the team, could be down to the manager, could be down to many a thing. And I use Van Dijk, I should have said this at the start, I use Van Dijk because that's who I can put him up against. If you want to say that Romero is world class, you're going up against my Virgil van Dijk, captain of Liverpool FC, who a lot of people said was done, finished, dusted, and yet he's absolutely killing it at the moment. So I'm just going to leave it there. Once again, shout out to Footy Judge Mo, shout out to Will, shout out to Jacob, This is Football, all those others out there. Peace out, and may your team win, unless your name is Man City. Yeah.